Okay, so here we have question number 16 from January 2016, C12 IAL paper. They're given this sketch of a curve and a straight line and a shaded region R. It's a straight line L, has equation y equals a half x plus 1. So that's y equals a half x plus 1. It cuts the curve C with equation y equals x squared. Y equals x squared minus 4x plus 3 at the points P and Q, as shown in figure 2. So the first thing you want to do is use algebra to find the coordinates of P and Q. So basically this is a question which involves us basically using simultaneous equations with a quadratic and a linear together. Okay, let me just sort this out. So it's let me just move this stuff out. Make some space for myself. Okay. So basically, we got to solve this pair of simultaneous equations. This quadratic and this linear equation simultaneously. We've got y equals x squared minus 4x plus 3, and we've got y is equal to a half x plus 1. So a simple one like this, where they're both expressed in terms of y, you can just replace the y with half x plus 1, any of them. So I can say, for example, x squared minus 4x plus 3 is equal to a half x plus 1. When they're both in terms of y, you can say, okay, I want to know when they are both equal to each other. Where they're equal to each other is going to be the places where they intersect. So I need to solve this equation. So first thing, what let's do, get rid of the fraction. So let's multiply both sides by 2. Okay, so you end up with 2x squared minus 8x, sorry, you've got to be very careful, not make silly mistakes like that, minus 8x, multiply everything by 2, okay? So multiplying both sides of the equation by 2. Plus 6 is equal to, well, half times 2 is x, that was the point, get rid of the fraction there, plus 2. So everything has been multiplied by 2. Now we can bring everything on one side of the equation. So to solve it simultaneously like a quadratic equation, so you have 2x squared, you've got minus 8x minus 1x, which is minus 9x, and you've got 6 minus 2, which is 4. Now we've got to solve this quadratic equation. Okay? To solve this quadratic equation, we can split the middle term into two parts because it has a 2x squared. If you do it commando style, you can do it this way as you wish. So we've got to find two numbers whose product is positive 8. Remember, we've got to multiply the first and the last term, the x squared coefficient and the constant. Okay, and we've got to find two numbers that multiply to give us this product, and the sum of those two numbers has to be minus 9. Well, it looks like they have to have the same sign. They have to both be negative, so it must be minus 8 and minus 1. Okay, so you have 2x squared minus 8x minus 1x plus 4 equals 0. So we can see here we can factorize by grouping. We can take the first two terms and we take out the common factor, which is 2x. We're left with x minus 4. Then we write the sign that comes down next, which is minus. There's no common factor, so we write 1, which is a factor of everything. And then we say, okay, minus 1 times x gives me minus x, and minus 1 times minus 4 gives me plus 4. So it must be minus 4 here, negative 4. So we have x minus 4 times 2x minus 1 equals 0. So now, almost there, we can say either x equals 4 or x equals a half. And if you want to make sure that you have not done the wrong thing, that you didn't make a silly mistake, what you can do is you can use your calculator. Okay, this is just for checking. It's not for actually showing the calculation. It's for checking. Okay, you can check to see that you've factorized this and you've solved this correctly. You can just go to menu and choose where it says equation. It's 9. Okay, 9. And then you've got a polynomial equation here. Okay, it's a degree 2, it's a quadratic. And we just put the value of a, B, and C. Okay, I mean, You could even do it from, well, I suppose that's about where you should do it from. So A, B, and C. You put 2 as A, press equals. Then -9 as your B, press equals. And then +4 as your C, press equals. You press equals again, will give you one solution, which is 4. Press equals again, if you know the solution, which is a half. So you can check that you've solved the equation in the correct manner. Okay. Now, that's not the answer, because it says find the coordinates of P and Q. Now, obviously, P must be the one with x coordinate a half, and Q must be with the x coordinate 4. So let's make some bit more space here. Move these things down a bit. Okay, so now we can see from the graph that P must be the x equals a half and Q must be x equals 4. So P is at P, x equals a half. And at Q, x equals 4. Alright? So we want to find the value of y. Okay, now we can choose either of the two equations that we started with to find out y, because it says it will be the same for both of them. So let's use y equals a half x plus 1 because it's just easier. Y equals a half x plus 1. You've got no squares and stuff in there, so you can just substitute a half into here. So you have a half times a half plus 1, which is a quarter plus 1, which is 1 1/4. Okay, you can leave it like that. So the coordinates of P are therefore a half and 1 1/4. And for Q, you got y equals a half times 4 plus 1, which is going to give you 2 plus 1, which is equal to 3. So the coordinates of Q are therefore 4 and 3. Okay, so we now know the coordinates of P and Q. Okay, we now know the coordinates of P and Q, so that's part A. 5 marks for that. Okay, simple 5 marks there. Not really that difficult to do. All right, so now we're going to do part B. Okay, part B. So then it says the curve crosses the x-axis at the points T and S. It says find the coordinates of the points T and S. So the equation of the curve, let's go back and get the equation of the curve. The equation of the curve was y equals x squared minus 4x plus 3. Okay? So let's just put that here. Oops. Copied it. Okay, so that's the equation of the curve, and it's asking us to find the places where it crosses the x-axis, where T and S are. Okay, so we need to write down the coordinates of the points T and S. So where does it cross the x-axis? We know on the x-axis, y is equal to 0. So we can say x squared minus 4x plus 3 equals 0, and we can factorize this quite simply. Okay, it's not a big deal to factorize that. You can see they both have to be negative. You've got to have 3 and 1. Okay, that gives you plus 3 as a product and minus 4 as a sum. So you can say x equals 3 and x equals 1. So we can say that T is the point 1 and 0. And we can say that S is the point 3 and 0. Okay, so that's A and B done from this question. I'm going to do part C in the next video. Thank you for watching.